Thank you for calling 1-800-SAD-DESIGN. We're back for episode 10. And, to me at least, it's felt like a long 2 weeks, but we're back for... No, I think we have a pretty good topic today.
I think so,
I think
too.
it'll be fun. Fun to talk about. I feel like we both went through some good experiences, I'd say.
Yeah, I think so. I can't believe it's episode 10, too.
It feels like it's been when you look at other podcasts, it's like it's taken a while because we do every other week and everyone else does every week. But it's like, it feels like it's been so long, but it's also like, wow, we're already here.
I know. It's almost been a year since we came up with this idea.
Yeah, we're getting
10
pretty close.
in.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy. But yeah, I don't think there's really anything too special planned for this one. But
No, we'll save that for a later time.
yeah, maybe the 20th.
How have you been the last 2 weeks? Any updates on projects or life and things?
Well, the last 2 weeks have been pretty crazy for me. Went through a lot of just random other things going on. I think there's just so much going on. I didn't really do any design work besides the stuff I was kind of planning for this episode.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of it. Yeah, I don't really think I've been doing anything design-wise. And then the only other thing that I think that's really happened the past 2 weeks is I joined a bowling league. So I'm really happy about that. Although, well, my mindset going into it was kind of supposed to... I was going in there kind of get like that ego check a little bit. Because basically I've been just going around with like siblings and relatives. And they're always like, oh, you're so good at bowling. But it's like, I just like to have fun. But then I go there and it's like kind of the same. So it's like, oh, I thought there were going to be really good people at these leagues.
Yeah.
And there are. But, yeah.
Maybe they're just trying to
I know.
have fun and advance their
that's what it's all
skills and
about,
stuff,
though.
too. And
Like, I just joined a random team, and we're pretty much just there to chat. And then they are saying that there was only one team that took it really serious, and everyone hated them. And then my team took their spot because they left, and they're like, thank God they're gone. Like,
I get that.
yeah, I feel like these are just supposed to be super chill. But yeah, I think that's pretty much it.
Nice.
Nothing.
It sounds
else.
fun, though.
Yeah, it's fun.
I'm terrible at bowling, but...
Yeah. I mean, you just had to get that whole rhythm and all that going.
Yeah. Do you do it over at the one right over here?
Yeah. Just because it was the closest one. And then I think eventually I'll do like where I go twice a week at one and then another. But it's kind of just to get introduced to it. But yeah, it's fun.
Didn't you, on campus, when you worked at the game center, just bowl all the time?
Well, that's why I got into bowling. Like, when I first joined, they're like, so what's your experience level? I was like, I just bowl for fun. And they're like, okay, cool. And then they're like, you bowl for fun. What does your fun mean? And I just told them that I work there, and they're like, oh, okay, that makes a lot more sense. But that's the only reason why I got into bowling. Well, I've always liked it, but I didn't get actually into it until I worked at the game center.
Yeah.
Which I miss every day, but what can I do about it?
Exactly.
But yeah, what about you? How's your past 2 weeks been?
It's been a crazy last couple of weeks for me. I've learned that I need to say no to some people when I get asked for design projects, because I kind of had like a pile up this last week or a couple weeks. I think I mentioned last episode that I've been interviewing for this job at an engineering company, and it's been like a month-long process now. But they gave me a design project to do this last week, and of course I was working on that and stressing immensely over that. And applying for other jobs on top of that, communicating with other jobs, jobs canceling on me on interviews, and so there was that constant working letdown, and then just people reaching out for me for projects. I'm doing like an album cover for a friend. I'm doing the menu for the restaurant I work at. Trying to do that, and I was reached out to about that research paper I did a couple months ago, and they're sending it to print, and they needed just a couple more edits, and so I was working on that, and it was just like a lot. I couldn't do anything else, and then the restaurant was scheduling me 6 days a week, and I was like,
there's no time for all
how am I
going
to do anything? So it was just busy. And
sounds like one hell of a week. Way more action than mine.
Yeah, and then I was late showing up here today. I had to text Ty. I was like, sorry, I slept. I needed sleep.
It gave me more time to do some of the other things that I had to do. So it was, it works out.
Yeah.
You know, it all works out.
It's all right.
But yeah, it sounds like you had was it a productive week?
I'd say so.
Yeah. That's good. Got a good amount done.
Yeah. I did try to take one day, like, before going to work, just, like, not doing anything related to working on anything. Mm-hmm. Just because
nice little break.
I need a second. Yeah.
Yeah. You need a day to just not think about any of it.
Yeah.
And just relax.
Like, I don't need to work on anything extra today. I went thrifting and I redid a wall in my room, and I don't know. I was just like, do what I want to do.
Yeah, do anything.
Give me a minute.
Design or work.
Yeah.
It's definitely good to have those days. I definitely take a lot of those days.
Yeah.
Or I wake up and I'm like, all right, this is what I'm doing. I kind of like set like my little like time slot schedule, and then I sit down and I'm like, I think I'm just going to work on this other thing.
Yeah.
Instead. And then it just turns into not working on any design things at all. So
it's usually how it goes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It feels different when you kind of like, I don't know, forcing yourself to work on something when you're not like too clear or sure about. Mm-hmm. Rather than when you go in knowing exactly what you want, how it's supposed to look. And then it takes like a couple hours and you're like, yes. I think that's a different process.
I think so too.
But yeah.
I'm ready for a relaxing next 2 weeks. I know that's a funny thing to say, but I'm gonna try to change some things up and do some things for fun.
Nice.
Maybe do some art and design things that I want to do for fun that's not for anyone else, because I haven't been able to do that for a while. Okay. I still haven't like finished those books I've been talking about forever, because I've had no time.
Yeah, I thought you finished them though.
No, I finished binding them, but they still don't have the vinyl on them. I finished one.
Okay.
But there's still 3 more that I...
Have you designed them?
I designed two more, and there's the fourth book that I haven't gotten to yet. Okay. All of them look the same, like they all have the same like border around the outside of them and everything, so it's like that's consistent among all of them, but the image in the middle changes each time, so that's the thing that takes time. Yeah,
I feel like for me, I do most of my like personal designing things for the weeks.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's nice that you can kind of tie the two together.
Yeah, I always try to kind of just make it a joke, I guess. Like put a joke into it where it's like, yes, I like this. Mainly because at work it's all serious, no jokes aside.
Yeah.
Can't mess around. Even though I've tried many times to sell people on papyrus and other fonts. But yeah.
Oh, I have two things I do have to share with you that I found over the last couple of weeks. There was this like pasta food truck that I was driving behind on the freeway on my way to work, and it used papyrus, but
No
I
way.
cannot for the, I tried to take a photo of it. I don't know if you can read what it says in it, but it said something so funny like underneath the title of the name in papyrus, and let me see if I can
I
find
always
it.
laugh when companies use it because I really
So
feel
good.
like
I was like, I don't know what papyrus has to do with Italian food, but it made me giggle.
well, I really feel like it has no place in most brands. Like the only time I would feel like it would make sense is if it were like Rainforest Cafe. But even then, it's kind of like still. I mean, it would work, but it shouldn't, type thing. Um, but yeah, I always laugh when I see it. I've seen it used a lot at like in medical fields. Like I think I don't know if it was a veterinarian place that used it, but I know a physical therapy place uses it. And I was like, interesting. But yeah, I'm always shocked to see it because you would think like based on what we talked about in our classes, everyone who's learning to become a designer knows about papyrus, and then it's like, well, who's still using it?
Yeah, okay. So I did find the photo I took while driving, so it was very bad. But I got the name. It's Pasta Pete food truck.
Pasta Pete.
And I looked up an image, and Pasta Pete in papyrus, and under here it says, I'd rather eat pasta and drink wine than be a size 0 in papyrus.
Oh my gosh.
There was this whole other blurb. I can't find
That
what
has
it
to
says,
be-
but it was so funny.
That's gotta have the double meaning, right?
I don't know. What is
So like if you think about it on the designer side, like size 0 just means like it's nothing, so
Yeah.
someone had to have done it, right?
Yeah. Oh, and then the other thing I saw while also driving, I drive a lot, was just, those coexist bumper stickers, and they have the different kinds of like cultural symbols and whatnot.
Don't tell me it's in papyrus.
No, it wasn't in papyrus. I
Oh.
found one that was like looked identical, but it said corn dogs instead.
Oh my gosh.
And I also took a photo of it when we were at a stop. See if I can find it for you again. But
I haven't seen any. I mean, I take the same routes every day. Oh yeah. You should send that to Brian.
yeah.
That's pretty funny. I haven't been seeing any new papyrus signs, but that's just because I don't really drive any new roads now.
Yeah.
Kind of use the roads that I know. But there are days when I pass it every day.
Yeah. I only see my crazy things on my 45-minute trip down the freeway to work, and so every day I see something different.
Yeah.
Bumper stickers, maybe that should be a
But
new
that's hard to
topic.
take. Yeah. I'm sure there are some really crazy. There's good ones, some crazy ones out there.
Yeah.
That's why you need like the Tesla where it has like the cams recording all the time. So if you see something, you just go back to the recording and then take the screenshot.
Yeah.
Because there are times, and I should not be doing it, but I do, like when I first see signs, I'm like, kind of like look in the corner of my eye and then just, and then throw it.
Yeah, I obviously try not to be on my phone when I'm driving, but those two instances, like the corn dogs one, we were stopped in construction, so I was like, oh, I could totally just like quickly snap this photo of this corn dogs bumper sticker. And then it just so happened Pasta Pete was getting off at the same freeway exit as I was, so when we were stopped there for a second again, I was like, quick picture. But
there are times when I'm in the car, my mom calls me and I'm talking to her, and then she asked me a question, I'm not responding because I'm actively trying to take a picture. He's like, hello? I was like, hold, give me a minute. I'm trying to take a picture. He's like, what are you trying to take a picture? I was like, papyrus sign. He's like, God damn it. Yeah, I try
they're
to.
everywhere. I see it all the time.
If you go down, there's like sometimes when you go down one road, you can see it like 2 to 3 times, and it's interesting.
It cracks me up because I didn't really notice it until like you had said something or brought up papyrus in class, and then
Yeah.
I was like, oh my God, it's
Well,
everywhere.
I never noticed it either. Like, I knew of it from, like, when you're doing presentations and you're, like, trying to find a font, like in elementary school or whatever. But then they basically just told us all about it, and it's like you can't unsee it now. Like, its letter forms are so different from all the other typefaces. You're like, it's, yeah.
Yeah.
Like, even with the edible arrangements, I didn't know about that for a while. But now every time I see it, which is rarely, because I don't really think there are any out here. Like,
I think there is
there is
one out here.
Okay. I've never seen it.
Yeah.
But I used to always go by one as a kid after, like, practice. And that never stood out to me until now.
Yeah.
It's a curse.
It's the things you don't notice until you know about them. And now
Yeah.
I can't stop thinking.
Yeah.
It's the designer brain, too. Once you know,
Sometimes it's
shut it
just
off.
so, yeah, it stands out.
Over analyzing absolutely everything I see.
It's just so loud. Just sitting there in plain sight.
It wants my input.
Yeah, it's like
it's looking back at me.
It's like they want us to email them and be like, "What is this?"
Either what were you doing, or oh my God, this is amazing. Like it's a spectrum.
Yeah, it's the either or.
Yeah.
I don't really know if there's a middle line, but yeah.
Good stuff. All right. Do you want to move into our design talk today?
Sure.
Yeah. We wanted to talk about package design today because it's so cool. It's definitely a more physical design aspect, physical experience. And I think we wanted to talk about a couple of our projects, package projects that we have done. Words, too many P's. And yeah. I know Ty designed a new one for this week specifically.
Just for today. Probably will never get used again.
Yeah.
Now I have some plans to use it in the future, but yeah, I don't know. It just seems like a fun one. It didn't turn out the way that I wanted it to, like originally. But I mean, it's okay.
Tell us about it.
Okay. Yeah, we'll just start off. So I wanted to design one of those Chinese takeout boxes. I don't really know how long that's kind of like been on my list, but
you've been talking about it for a while.
I know I've been talking about it for a while, and I thought I had a solid idea of what I wanted it to look like, and then when I got to working on this, I was like, maybe I should kind of change it up a little bit. And then when I started working, I was like, this doesn't make sense because you would never like have this kind of food in this box, yada yada. But I was like, whatever, I'm still gonna go with it. You can change it up, put other food in there, whatever. Mm-hmm. So I designed the Chinese takeout box, and let me just bring it up real quick. I'm just going to open up the spread. Spread you can see the most. Okay, so I guess I should do a little bit of a backstory.
Yes.
So, there's not really a good backstory for the actual reason of wanting to design the box, but for the actual design on the box, I was like, what am I going to put on it? Because normally it's just that generic one where it's like the white box with red print. Just has a temple and it says thank you, and I think that's all it is. I was like, that'll make it somewhat special, right? And I was like, so then I just made this random little like brand for it. Just quickly made like a little brand kit for it. Even though last time I said that I didn't want to do logos anymore. That I still did it.
Can't stop.
Yeah. And then, so I kind of just picked a name, picked the color palette, just kind of like mixed it all together, blah, blah, blah. And then So the name I picked is called Hanata, and then just says craft ramen. That's like the first problem is you would never put ramen in one of these boxes. But I was like, whatever, I'm sticking with it. I don't care. I don't care about the
Maybe
logic.
it's a very durable box.
Yeah, or it's like this box only has the noodles and then you get another cup with the broth.
Yeah.
I don't know. You can put fried rice in it. Who knows? So yeah, and basically I think the name means flower field. So that's kind of why I went with like a flower theme. And so the actual logo icon, it's just a bowl with a flower in it. I think it's a peonies. And then I put 2 leaves on the side as like a little accent and color thing. And I kind of just wanted to use a green for the color palette.
Mm-hmm.
Kind of showed in there, add a little bit of contrast. But yeah. And then for the actual box design, super simple. Just on the front and the back, just says the name with the logo. And then I did a little like peonies illustrations kind of like in the background. So they're not too distracting, but it didn't look too empty on those sides. And then for the sides where it gets like folded over, I kind of want it to like right between there's like a little triangle gap. It just says, I just said craft ramen to go, and then it has the name in Japanese. And super simple, but I think it works. I mean, it's hard to know if it works if you don't actually make it physically.
Yeah.
So I was just trying to visualize
Testing,
everything.
Yeah. I like your little on the bottom of the box.
Yeah. Well, I was like, what goes on the bottom?
cute.
Because normally nothing would go on the bottom. Or it's like you put like the cautions if it's like microwavable safe, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So I decided to do like a funny little caution thing, and it just says caution may cause extreme cravings. Slurp responsibly. So I think that was kind of funny.
I think it's fun.
And then after doing it, I was like, well, maybe you can just use slurp responsibly as like the little slogan. I don't know. And then for the little folding flaps that create that triangle on the side, I just put thank you in English and Japanese. Kind of like bring it all together.
Yeah.
But yeah. And then where it folds on the top on those like normal boxes everyone uses, I think it just says thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So for this one, I just put, it's like a word you say in Japanese, I guess. And it's like right before you eat. And it's just like basically like saying thank you for the food. So I put that there. And then even though most people can't read it, I'm sure the people who can are like, oh, okay, I get it.
Yeah. It's a nice, thoughtful touch.
I think it's like a nice
regardless.
touch. Especially like when you're opening the box and about to eat it, it's like, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like the same, exactly like the same thing. But yeah, and then I made one mock-up of kind of how it would look. It's not the exact like cutting lines and paths that I had envisioned for this actual spread, but I think it gets the idea out there.
Yeah, I think so.
But yeah, I think what my favorite thing about this is definitely the bottom.
Yeah.
I like the bottom the most. Everything else I'm a little
Keep
iffy.
the bottom that you do not see.
Yeah. But well, that's another thing. It's kind of like
It's just a
like the little
nice secretive
hidden Easter egg
touch.
thing.
Yeah.
I love to do all that stuff, so I was like, I gotta put it in one of those somewhere because I try to do something like that in everything I design.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was fun. Kind of rushed. Not kind of. It was pretty rushed. I think I started on Friday.
Oh, so 2 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's okay.
Well, started on Friday and then finished it this morning. I
Oh.
didn't work on it all yesterday. But yeah, I mean, it was fun.
I think it looks nice.
I think I would definitely evolve it, and then eventually, I don't know how I would do it, but I want to make like a physical version of it, but not out of paper, like something sturdy that can just sit there that doesn't like easily get crumpled. Yeah. So one day I'll figure that out. And it'll evolve for sure.
I like it.
But yeah. That was my little, I guess it was like an exploration for this.
Yeah, I like it.
I mean, when it comes to package design, I feel like if it's a new format, it's always more of an exploration.
I think so too. You're always thinking about how you could, cover every surface. And it's
you have to look at it from every angle and be like, can they see the logo from this angle? Can they see this from here? Blah, blah, blah. So it's a lot. It's definitely like
it's a lot to think about. And sometimes you don't realize, that you need to put something somewhere until you
actually make it.
You make it. Yeah.
I mean, that's one thing that at least I learned. I'm sure you learned too for the project we did on a class. But it was like every time you make a change, you should print it out to see how it actually looks. And then it also helps to like print it out to actual scale, which also sucked. But yeah.
Yeah. I did not have time to make a package for this week. It was a busy week, but I have done one package design, and that was for our last semester of class, second to last semester of class.
Second to last. And I thought it was such a fun experience that I want to do it again. I started this couple months ago, a package design that I wanted to do for fun. It was like this hypothetical juice brand because I wanted to do a carton design. Ooh, okay.
And I wanted to do all these little illustrative, very detailed illustrative elements on the carton, and I got started with the logo and everything, and I never got finished it.
I feel like
I've been thinking about it.
I feel like that, at least for me, is I get into that logo phase, and then that's where
it just
yeah, I'm like, ooh.
I want to do everything else but that.
Yeah.
And that shouldn't be the hardest part, but it is.
Well, I think it is. Because there's a lot
How does this one thing represent this whole entity? That is.
There's just a lot to take in when you're designing a logo, because you need to make sure. I mean, yeah, it's right now it's not going to be a real one, but it could be. So you might as well put in all the work now, just in case it does turn into something.
Yeah. But the package design I did do in class was for socks. I wanted to pick the most abstract object of anyone else in class. Everyone was boxes.
Yeah.
I was socks. And at first I was I was just going to do one of those simple tags over the top. And I was okay, that's actually really lame.
Yeah.
We got to make this cool and think about this really hard. And so I was if I am making a box for socks, how would I want it to look? And the first thing I thought of was a drawer, a sock drawer or something. And so I wanted the box to open kind of in that manner. Mm-hmm. But I also wanted the shape of it to be reminiscent of the toe of a sock as well. So that's why it's kind of this, or it's a box with a rounded top to it. And then when you put the socks in it, the toe of the sock kind of just nestles perfectly in that little spot when they're folded. And the fake brand or whatever that I came up for these socks was called Woodland Woolies, and there were supposed to be a sustainable wool sock brand. So there was lots of plant elements on it. It was made out of that craft cardboard material, and there was just lots of little hidden things I did, with the little bird on the back, he's wearing socks, and things I didn't realize that I needed to pay attention to was what does the box look like when the socks aren't physically in it. And so I had these cutouts on the front of the box with the logo and with a clear backing so you could see right into the box when the socks were in it. The idea was having that little clear opening, you could see the design of the socks or whatever. But when the socks weren't in it, it was just like a blank box. So I put like the logo again directly underneath the cutout in a different color, so it kind of stood out again. And yeah, I was just, how do I cover every surface of this box?
I mean, it's a lot. You know,
And you also have to remember things, that aren't always so fun to put on there, like washing instructions for these socks, like how do you care for these socks? What are price tags or barcodes, and where was it made, and what are the contents of the fibers and everything. Like those are things that I totally didn't even like think about until I started, printing it out and like looking at other packaging, and I was like, oh yeah, like those are important details to have. And there was a lot of iterations for this box as well, because I at first was making them like way too small, like the socks wouldn't fit. And so I was slowly like making them bigger and bigger. And I think I had like 25 printed out iterations. And when they were sitting on my desk, they looked like little tombstones. So I kept calling them the like graveyard as I was like working on this box.
I mean, it is technically a graveyard though, because it's like your like fallen versions.
Yeah, because when it sits like this, it is a tombstone.
Mm-hmm.
But
that's another sock brand.
Yeah.
And then
Tombstone
takes that shape basically.
Maybe I should rebrand it. And the socks will no longer be called Woodland Woolies, but instead be called Tombstone. That'd be funny. But and the inside box that slides out, you also had to think about too. So like I just did like a full, the sustainable flower plant pattern and the tagline.
Yeah, I think
the inside.
I feel like that's like one of the best places to put the tagline or some line in there, because it's like you open it.
Yeah.
And normally the tagline kind of deals with like the feeling of when you buy the product.
Yeah. But originally there was going to be nothing on this inside box that slides out. And then I was like, but it's so boring and empty.
Yeah.
It'd be cool to have a pattern on it.
Well, I also feel like it's always nice to always add more to something.
Yeah.
Especially when it's like empty space.
Yeah, and it's kind of fun too, like looking back, because like while I really love this project and I am very proud of how it turned out and everything, it's been almost a year now, and I'm like,
it has been a year.
Has been a year, yeah. I'm like, there's little things I do differently.
Yeah.
Other little considerations. And
yeah. I think I feel like a lot of people are like that. Because you never always perfect it.
No. They're cute, though.
Yeah.
I remember to bring it for today, just in case. But
it's a nice little package. I can see that being like... I mean, it could be in stores, but for like more online present.
Yeah, I think so.
Things.
Or I was thinking to like boutiques or specialized, those kind of more like gift stores. Like I wouldn't see this at Walmart.
No.
Like it's a little more
it's
specialized,
like
high end, like
the made in stores where it's like made in Idaho and only in Idaho, and it's something like you'd see in those kinds of stores. And then, it can probably eventually get to, like, those bigger retail stores. I do think, though, if it were to, they would, like, ask you to, like, implement the hanger thing.
Yeah.
Just because I think that's easier for them. Especially, like, with sock aisles. I feel like most of the time they have the little rod.
I think, most of the time socks are just like in a bag or on a simple little like tag and clip. Like and that was something I didn't want to do with this.
It's so, I mean, it's like
very stereotypical. It's done every time.
Yeah.
The whole idea, I think, with this project was to see what creative solution
Yeah.
that was different that you could come up with. And
Well,
so,
it's kind of like how
the box drawer.
well, it's like how for the classes they now do soap, and it's like, yeah, soap's so simple, but how can you make it interesting?
Yeah.
Like, I remember probably when I was in junior high, it was like I would watch. I don't know why, but I just enjoyed it. But I would watch so many unboxing videos, and it's like, yeah, I watch it for the actual product, but sometimes these companies make these like really intricate boxes for something so simple, and you're like,
Yeah.
wow, that's pretty cool.
Yeah. I found one just like kind of looking through Behance today, and it was a gum package. And, those are very simple, the little flap that opens up. But these, I don't think it's real, but it's just someone's project. But it's called Bite Me on Behance. And they kind of designed the packaging so that when you open it, it looks like the gum is placed in there like a row of teeth.
Oh.
So when you take out pieces of gum, it looks like you're missing teeth. Like the box is missing teeth.
Oh.
Yeah, isn't that so cool and creative?
That's very creative.
Yeah.
It's an interesting idea. Like, I mean, not to nitpick or anything. Like, good idea, yes. But I do think when it comes to that type of gum, there's a reason why they're like pills. They're in the like plastic with the foil. Just because if they're just left out there in the air, they're gonna like get hard and stale. But I mean, it is a very like nice and funny.
Oh, well, it looks like the gum's wrapped up. They're like little
it
white.
Is?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. From my
first glance, yeah.
It just looked like those white pills. Like, you know how I don't even know.
Like Tic Tacs or something. I don't know.
Kinda, yeah. One of my favorite things, and I don't know why I find it so interesting, but those little Pez dispensers.
Oh, yeah.
I don't know why. I just find those so awesome. You like just lift it and it spits out one. I'm like,
that's fun.
That's a good experience.
I also saw a picture not too long ago of, I think it was a Russian milk brand, but they had a cat on their carton, and the cat illustration.
We went over that one in class. I think.
Yeah, the cat illustration continued on all sides of the carton,
it's on the shelf.
But when it's on the shelf, you can rotate each carton on a different side, and it will continue across all the cartons as well, not only on the single carton.
Yeah, that one was cool.
Yeah.
That makes you think, when you see it or learn about it, you're like, dang, who came up with that idea?
Yeah. I think package designs are so fun. I love that they're little experiences. And
yeah. I feel like the whole point of it is to make the whole experience for the consumer better. You don't want to, say you get an iPhone. You don't want it in a brown paper bag.
Yeah, no.
And the Apple unboxing experience is pretty simple compared to other companies. It's also very I don't know, satisfying. It's that simple, satisfying feel.
Yeah.
You just let it slide and it just drops. So
I'm just scrolling through Pinterest right now, looking at some creative ones. These paintbrushes, someone illustrated faces on the wrap that goes around the paintbrush, and so it looks like the paintbrush
is the
hair standing off of their heads,
Trying to think I don't really know. I feel like the only boxes I've been opening lately are Lego boxes or tool boxes, and those are pretty straightforward. There's nothing too crazy.
I got this skincare item, and I remember the packaging for it was kind of cool, and I always, like, as I was unwrapping it, kind of like told a story as I was unwrapping it, and it was like, it kind of showed that this brand, you know, cared about the products that they were making, and it like makes you feel good about putting that, you know, skincare on your face or whatever, you know, because it's like they obviously had you know, this much thought into how it was going to be presented to someone. And
it's all about
also,
presentation.
yeah, very good consideration. Another thing to think about, like how is something going to come across based on how it's presented to someone.
It's like when you open the treasure box and the gold's glowing at you, and
Yeah,
there's the angels singing in the background.
yeah, packaging's fun.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll finish that juice carton or
Yeah.
whatever someday.
One day, I think. One day. I think it's good to just experiment with different forms.
Yeah.
Especially in the, like, physical 3-dimensional.
Yeah.
Just because there's more angles.
For sure.
More sides to think about than just the one.
Not just one flat surface.
Yeah.
Yeah. I enjoyed it just because there was so much to think about.
Yeah. It's fun. I did kind of wish we would have done more. But, I mean, there's just, like, not enough time, I guess, to really pack more projects like that when we were in school.
Yeah. Well, that's what all this time is now for after school, to do whatever you want.
Exactly. I think the hard part is to just, well, I don't kind of like pushing yourself to do it, because at school it's kind of like you're forced to. Mm-hmm. But now you're like, well, I don't have to. So it's more of wanting to.
Yeah.
I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah. All right. We do not have any updates on Sad to Rad this week. Maybe next week.
Nothing new.
I'm still working on Nissan. All right, moving.
Were we supposed to?
Well, I said I was going to finish it, but I didn't have time to finish it. I had other things happen this week.
Yeah. Busy week.
It was busy week. Happens. Moving on to our font of the week. Last episode, we chose Violeta as our font of the week. And as always, Ty, do you want to go first?
Sure, I'll go first. Okay, so for my poster, I went with a calendar style poster about Taco Tuesday. And I don't know what it's considered. Well, first of all, I did not finish it. Mainly because it was taking way too long, and it was right before we were recording. So I didn't want to postpone the recording any later. So I got it to a point where I was happy with, but I will definitely finish it and probably get it printed for the wall. And yeah, so basically a poster, to verbally visualize it, it's a calendar of January, and every day except Friday is labeled Tuesday. But then on every single calendar date, there's like a taco symbol. And that's because on top of the calendar, it says every day is Tuesday if you try hard enough. And then I left Friday in there just because I think everyone likes a Friday.
Fridays are okay.
Like, yes, Taco Tuesday is pretty great, but Friday's also pretty high up there, I'd say. Probably second, maybe. And then I tried to just add a bunch of little things. Like, for the first 3 calendar days, there's nothing because the 1st of January was on a Wednesday. So I just kind of filled it with random stuff that I could come up with. So in the first little box, I just did don't forget about Modelo time. I don't know if that's like a bad thing to implement, but it's more of like a meme.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I think I'm safe with that.
I think so.
And then the 2 boxes I just added together. And it just has a little thing about tacos. It says, tacos are loved because they're tasty, customizable, and perfect for any occasion. which is true. You can have tacos for breakfast, lunch, and dinner.
I like how you highlighted those words in that little blurb. Like,
Yeah.
tacos, tasty, customizable, perfect.
I didn't want it to be like all black and
yeah,
there's like
flat text.
Flat. So I kind of wanted it to stand out. I was debating on making tasty, customizable, and perfect different colors. But I was like, that's too much.
That's too
I think
much.
that's
yeah,
too much.
The yellow works perfectly. It feels like a highlighter, you know?
Yeah. And I also tried to match like, well, I had ChatGPT come up with my color palette, but I wanted it to match with like a taco theme. And so that yellow is very close to that like Taco Bell shell type thing. And then on the way bottom, I also had ChatGPT give me the origin story of Taco Tuesday. So I basically just copied and pasted that, and then I labeled it America's Greatest Marketing Campaign. But yeah, not finished. There's only like a couple more things I want to add, and it's just on that top row. Mm-hmm. And then I'm going to I want to add some texture into it. I don't know what it will be, but it just seems pretty flat right now. But even then, it doesn't look too bad. But I definitely want to add some sort of imagery on the top. Maybe I'll change the text up a little bit. But yeah, I would say this is the most work I've ever put into a font of the week. And I am happy with that.
Maybe the top section needs to have like an actual image of tacos, so it's like one of those actual cheesy calendar images, you know, like the cat calendar or something. That might be a fun something to incorporate.
Maybe. Maybe I can bring in that riso texture.
There you go.
I was trying to avoid that for this one though, because I have been using it a lot, like a lot. But maybe I'll do that.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll go to Taco Bell and take it.
There you go.
I'll get what is it? The Doritos Locos Taco.
Take a photo.
Or a chicken chalupa.
Snap a photo, throw it in.
But yeah, I would say, I mean, I always have fun with these, but this one is a lot. It was pretty fun.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah. Yeah. How about you?
For mine,
Yours looks very nice.
Was based off of a recent experience. I've been so busy, I've neglected my plants and they're dead. So I'm the cereal.
Oh, your plants are dead?
My plants are dead.
My brother has plants too, and he's like, I have a orchid, and I'm pretty sure it's dead.
Yeah, I was like, oh yeah, and they're all like gray and shriveled up. I was like, I don't remember the last time I watered.
Hey, you guys are looking thirsty.
The only thing I can keep alive is this cactus that I've had for the last 5 years, and I can always tell when he needs water because it'll get all like droopy. And then I'm like, and then as soon as I water him, he like perks back up again. But I did a poster too, and in big text in Violeta, I said cereal plant killer. And underneath it says, wanted for multiple counts of neglect, no sign of watering found at the scene according to sources. And then underneath that, it was just like a little blurb of, do you recognize this individual known to leave plants high and dry, or worse, drown them in an misguided act of love. Suspect has a history of purchasing leafy victims with good intentions only to abandon them on windowsills and forgotten corners. Authorities have recovered suspiciously dusty watering can at the scene, but it's too little too late. If you have any information or simply want to confess your own crimes, report immediately to your nearest plant nursery before another innocent fern meets its fate. But I was messing for the first time with our Riso pack that we just got for the podcast, and so I just put like a Swiss cheese plant, a bird of paradise, and some other cool plant that I found that was really cool, and kind of did all the plants overlapping with this like turquoise green blue color, and then all the text is in this purple because I thought it overlaid really nicely over the top of the plants with the Riso pack textures.
That looks very nice.
I was trying to be fun.
I like it.
Be funny with it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Well, I know it's the texture, but just like the way it looks with the color overlays and all that, it just looks so satisfying. I don't know
Yeah.
why. And it's like so easy to read too. Like you don't really lose
No,
any
because
of
even
the
at the small
text.
text at the bottom, it still overlays really nice. I can still read it very well. Um, Violeta, the font itself, like its points and everything, very much reminded me very organically of plants and stuff. So it was a mixture of that and my own personal latest experience of killing my plants that kind of made this poster.
I've only got one plant, and if it dies, that's something because it's just a succulent.
Yeah.
So that thing better not die.
I babysat that plant. Hey, didn't I do a great job? It looked so happy when I gave it back to you.
Yeah. I haven't looked at it in a while. I'm sure it's doing fine. I water it every once in a while.
Yeah.
It's not like it needs a lot. So that's the nice thing. Yeah.
I like Violeta. I think I would definitely use it again. Like some of the ones we pick, I feel they're a little too display-y and can only be used for certain things.
Yeah.
But I'm like, this one I feel like it's a little more versatile as a display too. And it has that main just like kind of serify text too.
Forgot to mention, but for the Chinese takeout thing, I used Oscar.
I did notice that.
Yeah. Well, I was like, I don't want to go through that rabbit holes of like searching. So I was like, what do I know? I was like, oh, I actually really like this one. I was like, how does it look? I was like, it doesn't look too bad. I'm gonna use it. And then so yeah, I was like, fine with me. I don't know. It's not a real thing.
Yeah.
But yeah, good font of the week.
I like it. For the next font of the week, we have a very fun topic planned for next episode, I will say. We chose this font in hopes to get some more laughs.
I think it will.
We would love for everyone to join in on this one, but it's Amatic SC on Google Fonts.
Mm-hmm. And if you don't know this one, or at least
you will
based
know
on the
it
name,
as soon as you see it.
Yeah, it's connected to the Google Slides template with the teal. That's teal and white, and I know this because this was my favorite template in high school. And I'm sure I can find, if I go back, I'm sure I can find some presentations and that, even like maybe my freshman year of college too. But like that was that locked in font for it. So every time I see it now, I'm like, I can't believe I used that. Or when I see it used, like in the professional world, like I see it a good amount sometimes on like YouTube thumbnails. I'm like, huh, interesting.
It's just built in, like you said, to the slides and everything. But yeah, we're gonna have some good laughs over that one. I'm gonna try to make something absolutely ridiculous for next week.
Yeah, I don't really have any ideas. I also kind of forgot we picked that one because when you said for the next one, I was like, wait, did we even pick one?
We did.
But I mean, we also
were so
did.
ahead. We planned like 3 episodes back to back.
I think that's good. But now we're all caught up, so we got to plan them. We got to plan them again. But yeah, I think this will be a fun one.
I think so too.
No ideas yet, but I think for this one, I'm gonna break not all the rules, but I'm not gonna follow any.
Yeah.
Which I think I'm pretty good at.
I think it'll be perfect for the topic too, which I won't say anything.
Yeah. I think it'll be a fun talk.
I'm excited
I think I'm definitely gonna, this time at least, like get a couple articles and like reference images. Mm-hmm. There's one that I love, and I think we've already talked about it, but yeah, I think it'll be a fun little conversation.
I think so too.
I know. One thing I do want to figure out, I don't really know how I would do it, and just to make my life easier, but a way where we can just share our screens while we record instead of having to edit it in. I'm sure I can figure out something with like a scene and then adding another streaming device. I have no idea.
I'm sure we can figure it out.
But I want to, because
it would be nice to like go over articles and
well,
like,
even
pictures
when,
live and everything too for YouTube. And
like the last episode when we actually had a sad to rad, I was like, it added maybe another hour because I was having to like time every single like image we were talking about, and then like the stupid transitions that I've been doing, which I probably shouldn't, but I still do it.
You're like, I'm committed now to consistency.
Yeah, I gotta keep it consistent, and where it's like every time. Oh my God. Every time the screen splits, it's gotta split to the same spot every time.
Yeah.
So.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hydrate.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm hoping I've been trying to do some research on it. Just like an easier way. I also think our recording setup isn't really the legit way. So
yeah.
But it works.
It's working.
Yeah, for now. I'll figure something out. But yeah.
Sticker pack number 00 is released on Patreon.
Mm-hmm.
There's some cool stuff in there if you'd like to claim yours.
That's another package
subscribe.
Design, though.
That is another package design.
Very
simple, but
simple and small, but very nice.
Very clean. Using that Riso pack we got. I love that thing.
That thing's gonna get used so much.
But yeah, go subscribe to our Patreon to claim your sticker pack. I need to check if anyone else has responded to our thing now that we're talking about it.
And well, we have done a couple like updates and notifications about it too.
Yeah.
Another thing, though, I think that might also be cheaper to send them out is to just send them through the mail with a stamp.
I think they're small enough. That'll work.
Yeah. I think as long as we keep it small enough. I don't know how it came to me. I might have seen a picture. I don't know. But I have been thinking of the design, at least, of the next one. But I haven't come up with any new sticker designs.
Round 2 coming soon, or
No.
it'll be Sticker Pack 01.
Yeah, but not coming soon. I would say summertime.
Yeah,
maybe.
a couple months.
Yeah, give us some time. There's a lot going on.
Yeah.
It's also winter.
There's also a new bonus episode that you just posted up there of us packaging the said sticker packs.
Yeah, I thought I scheduled that one to post before
like over
I left.
Christmas.
Yeah, and then I was like, this thing never got posted. I was like, snap, I should do that now. So it's now up. I thought we would have more of a conversation, but it's kind of like focusing
we were trying to have a conversation, but I was like, I can't count and talk at the same time.
Well, it didn't help that we were doing like, we had 2 versions of ones that are similar. We're doing like one of each.
Yeah.
Probably should have just done both of them, but whatever.
It is what
it's
it is
fine.
now.
I'm sure people don't really mind. But yeah, there wasn't really a whole much of a conversation. And then we do have another one. I don't know when it's being posted. I think we're kind of just holding it until we need it. But it was just a random conversation we had before we actually started.
Yeah, it was
the
like
episode.
a good 40-minute conversation before we
actually
started that.
Sub 30.
30.
After
cutting and everything. Yeah.
I don't even know what it was about.
We were like, oh yeah, episode time.
Yeah, like we gotta focus up.
Yeah.
I think the final whole recording was 2 hours, which I was like, what? And then after cut, I think it was like a minute or hour 20. I don't know, something like that. Yeah.
And as always too, go over to our Discord server.
Which we're probably gonna go post our Oscar Fun of the Weeks right after this.
Yes. To kind of share those with you, get the conversation rolling. It's also a place where you can meet other designers to share your work, and please start the vent line.
Yeah.
And as always, too, there will be an Instagram recap of this episode where you can find our Fawn of the Weeks, pictures of the package designs that we kind of talked about today, and in the future, any other things that, we kind of talk about. They'll be presented there on our Instagram as a little recap.
Mm-hmm. I think that's it.
I think so, too.
Alrighty.
Thanks for tuning in to 1-800-SAD-DESIGN. Until next time, keep designing, stay inspired, and dial into design. Bye.
Bye.